In a palace where power ruled and appearances mattered, Princess Sophia, the fifth daughter of George III, was nearly invisible. Born into a life of corsets and court rituals, she was legally blind and emotionally isolated, but Sophia dared to rebel. Rumors swirled of a secret love affair with her father's equerry and even an illegitimate child hidden from public view. Behind closed doors, she was kept under surveillance, a prisoner in her own chambers. A royal by blood, but denied the freedom of love or truth. Her life is a haunting portrait of how the crown could smother those born beneath it. Prince John, the youngest son of King George V, lived most of his life out of sight. Diagnosed with severe epilepsy and possibly autism, the royal family quietly removed him from public view by age 12. He lived at a secluded estate, Wood Farm, tended by a nurse, far from his siblings and the press. The monarchy claimed it was to protect him, but the truth is darker. John became a ghost, absent from family portraits and official histories. When he died at 13, few knew of his existence. His story, once buried, now speaks volumes about the crown's silence on vulnerability. At just 16, Lady Jane Grey was thrust onto the English throne during a whirlwind of political desperation. She never wanted to be queen, but others wanted power, so they crowned her. 9 days later, Mary Tudor seized the crown. Jane was imprisoned in the Tower of London, confused, quiet, and devout. She read her Bible as the axe was prepared. Her final words, "I am the queen no longer." With one stroke, England buried its youngest monarch and erased her from the legacy of power she never asked to hold. Handsome, cultured, and rebellious, Prince George, brother to King George VI, lived a double life. Behind the royal charm lay scandal, alleged affairs with men and women, drug use, and secret ties to Nazi officials. In 1942, he died in a plane crash under mysterious circumstances. The official story says it was an accident during wartime service, but the wreckage was quickly sealed and witnesses silenced. Was it espionage? A royal cover-up? The files remain locked. Prince George's death is still one of the monarchy's deepest unsolved shadows. When George IV married Caroline of Brunswick, he loathed her from the first meeting. Their union was a disaster, and he tried for decades to divorce her. Caroline, loud, flamboyant, and scandalous, became a figure of ridicule, yet also public sympathy. At George's coronation, she attempted to enter Westminster Abbey, only to be turned away. Days later, she fell ill and died under suspicious circumstances. Rumors swirled of poisoning. Her name was nearly removed from records, but Caroline's fight, to be seen, to be heard, echoes even now, a royal woman cast aside by the very man who crowned himself king. He was King George III's favorite child, Prince Octavius, a bright and joyful boy. At just 4 years old, he died after receiving a smallpox inoculation. The king was never the same. "There will be no heaven for me if Octavius is not there," he wept. His grief spiraled into mental collapse, and some say it was the beginning of his descent into madness. The boy, now a mere footnote in royal history, once held the fragile heart of a monarch in his tiny hands. Born deaf, married into royalty, and later declared insane, Princess Alice of Battenberg lived a life unlike any other. She was the mother of Prince Philip, grandmother to King Charles III, and spent World War II hiding Jewish refugees in her Athens home. Later, she renounced royal life to become a nun, living in a convent while her family ruled. She died nearly penniless, buried in Jerusalem. Forgotten by many, Alice was a silent hero, a royal who chose service over splendor, compassion over ceremony. Prince Arthur, son of Queen Victoria, was born for battle. He served in the British Army across continents, earning medals and respect. While his siblings ruled, Arthur chose the sword. Yet when Queen Victoria died, he was overlooked for greater leadership, too military, too distant. He lived into his 90s, a man of war in a family of ceremony. At his funeral, few royals attended. His life was action, not crowns. And in the end, the empire he fought for had forgotten its warrior prince. She was supposed to be Queen of Sweden, Princess Margaret of Connaught, granddaughter of Queen Victoria. Married to Sweden's future king, she brought elegance and British grace. But at age 38, she died suddenly of sepsis during pregnancy. Sweden mourned deeply. Her children were raised in royal isolation, and history quietly erased her name. She was the bridge between two monarchies, never crowned, yet deeply beloved. Her photos now fade on forgotten palace walls, a reminder of a crown that slipped through fate's fingers. Edward of Middleham, only son of Richard III, was crowned Prince of Wales at 10 years old. A royal future awaited, then, suddenly, he died. The cause remains unknown. His father, devastated, became crueler, more paranoid. Edward's death shattered the Yorkist claim, paving the way for Henry Tudor's rise. One boy's death changed the course of English history. His tomb lies quietly in Middleham, barely marked. He never reigned, he barely lived, yet his absence left a void where a kingdom might have stood.